I feel like we did. We just blocked it out because it was so terrible.
You may have just not thought about some of it. I know some of it you all did because I saw Brady's homework whenever she brought it home.
She was the class above us. She wasn't in class with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so adjacent, vertical, and linear pair. We're going to talk about angle relationships. First of all, everybody in this class that's on the front row, you are adjacent with each other. What does adjacent mean? We're next to. So adjacent means two angles that are next to one another. Somebody want to put your mask on? I'm going to use you for a demo.
I have my mask on.
All right, come up here with you. Okay, so Evie and I are going to create an angle together. So I want you all to tell me what we have in common. So we're going to share this guy right here. And now you can put your arm out to each side. What do we share? Yeah, we share a common ray. So adjacent angles, actually, you're good. Adjacent angles, they share a ray. Whoops. So if you have adjacent angles, these guys are next to each other, they share a ray. So if you have kind of like the example that we just had a second ago, these would be adjacent angles. I've got this guy right here is adjacent to this guy, and they share this common ray. So adjacent just means next to. Vertical, for all of you athlete people, if you're interested in a vertical jump, what way is a vertical jump?
Up.
Up and down. So these are angles. Right now, Evie and I are vertical from one another. What's that mean? We're not next to each other, but we are across from one another. So vertical angles are across from one another. One thing that you got to know about vertical angles are congruent. What's that mean?
Same.
You got it. There it is. See, look, you got it in there. They are congruent. They're equal. So if we have angles that look like this, these two angles are across from each other. These two are across from each other. If you look carefully, they are not just equivalent, but they're mirror images of each other. Would you agree? So if you want to like highlight those, this guy in here and this guy in here, those are vertical angles. If you're a highlightery kind of person, when we talk about this stuff, this is always a good place to like bring in your highlighters or colored pencils or whatever. So, what about linear pair? They make up a, come on, what's the root of the word linear?
Line.
They make up a line. So these are two angles that make a line. Woo! That's aggressive.
I'm aggressive.
Yeah, you are. Especially up.
Your honesty is appreciated, Paul.
Huh?
I said your honesty is appreciated.
So if we have two angles that make up a line, and a line is worth 180 degrees, we also call these supplementary. Which means they add to 180. They're going to give you a lot of terminology, and again, like you did in your homework from the day before, they give you that terminology, they give you a clue about something, and then they use you to figure out the algebra on how you can solve something, to find the missing piece. Okay. Tell me what you got this guy doing.
Will you draw a picture for linear?
Yes. Linear pair. I mean, this guy should be connected, but
Yeah.
my board's still off a little bit.
I thought Murph came here the other day.
If he did, I haven't seen him yet. I did text him. We'll see if we can get it fixed.
Who?
It's this side that's off that drives me crazy. All right, so we got this much so far?
Yes.
All right, so let's look at an example. I like these just because it's algebra, and to me it makes sense. The look makes sense. All of that kind of mess to me just makes sense. Okay, so I have two intersecting lines. I have lots of things that have been formed. This angle right here and this angle right here make up a straight line, so these guys are a linear pair. These guys are across from each other, so they're vertical. And these dudes right here are across from each other, so they are vertical. So now what the problem is going to give you, it's going to tell you that this guy is 16x minus 20 degrees, and this dude down here is 13x plus 7. So now, anybody want to explain how to solve for x and figure out what these angles are based on the terminology that I just gave you a minute ago?
What are we trying to find?
Do what? Yes. Why are we going to set them equal to each other? What kind of angles are they? Yes. These are vertical angles, and we already discovered that those are congruent, so we can actually set these equal to each other and solve. So we can say 16x minus 20 equals 13x plus 7. So now all you got to do is your algebra. So we're going to subtract 13x from both sides. 3x minus 20 is 7. Ooh, I like those numbers. I can do that division in my head. So 3x is 27, so what's that mean x is? X is 9. So now how do we determine what the angles are? What property do we use to put this in there? What's that called? If I'm not here for a day, they send a substitute. So I'm going to go ahead and put 16 times 9 minus 20. So when you put that in your calculator, that is 124 degrees. Now, if this is 124, what does it mean this guy has to be? 124. Now, because I'm a pain in your rear end, I'm going to ask you, can I use this information that I already have to find the two missing guys?
Yes.
Okay, how and what tells me I can do that? Okay, so this angle right here and this angle right here, if you look at them really closely, when you add them together, what do they make up?
180.
Yeah, they make a straight line.
So you do 180 minus 124.
You got it. So what is 180 minus 124?
I lost my calculator.
How'd you lose?
I don't know. I think it might be at Karen's house.
56. So if this guy is 56, what does that mean this guy is?
56.
Okay, and why?
Because they're congruent.
Yes, because they are vertical angles. So the vertical angle pairs have to be equal. Basically, the blue and the red together have to give you 180. So if I add this guy and this guy, I should get 180. This guy and this guy, I should get 180. And this guy and this guy, I should get 180. Mine? Blown. Not so hard, right?
Yeah.
The only other weird definition that there is in here is we've talked about two angles that equal 180 are called supplementary. Anybody know what you call two angles that come together to give you a right angle? They're really nice angles. They're really sweet. They're nice because they're always saying really good things about you. If somebody says a good thing about you,
Complimentary.
yeah, they're complimentary. They're nice. They compliment each other. And if you give somebody a compliment, that's a really right thing to do, right? Right on? So complimentary just means they add to be 90. Sound Gucci? Yay! Okay. So let me find what I want you to do for homework. Man, I don't like any of this stuff in here.
Let's just not do it.
We can't just skip it. We need to know it. All right, let's see. They have like a study guide thing in the book that is like so much better than what's actually in the book. Let me see if they've got anything good. Okay. I like this better. Turn in your book to page 64. do page 64, 38 through 41.
It's only 4 o'clock.
Yep.